Well, we don't have much in the way of spensies for this transfer window, but to be honest with you, I don't know whether we really need it. We're top of the Premier League. We're doing well in the Champions League. We're through to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. We've got the FA Cup starting today. Admittedly, we've got an away game against Manchester City before we get to the FA Cup, but other than that, it's all going pretty well. Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to part number 4 of Club 4 of the MyCareer save here on Football Manager. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, where it is Manchester City in the first game of today's video, followed by an FA Cup game just to break things up against Bradford City. So that should be a little bit of fun. But if you're excited to see whether we can win both of those games, or at least not lose both of them, because I'm not going to lie, if we lost against Bradford City, I think I'd be very sad. Then don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me. I nearly said light. I was going to mention about this behind me in a minute. Big like on the video for me. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the nonsense that comes out of this face right here. All I was going to say was, yes, I've forgotten to get batteries, but what are you going to do? So, since you were last with us, how have we been doing? Again, I feel like I'm on repeat, but this Arsenal side that we inherited was good, and with the additions we've made, it is very, very good indeed. As you can see, it's just been fabulous since we beat Chelsea. We did draw against Everton, and a weird draw against Leeds that we couldn't really get around. Those were two slightly annoying games. However, Daniel Pitchford, he's not necessarily scoring every game, but he's scoring at a rate which has got me confident in using him as our starting striker. You can see goal there, obviously against Chelsea, you know about that one. Didn't score in the next game, scored the game after. Didn't score in the next 2 games, did score 2 goals in that game. Didn't score against Leeds, did score a hat-trick against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, by the way, this game, we went down to 10 men early on, William Saliba getting sent off. To kind of cover it, I switched to, we've got a 3-4-3 formation. I switched to that with 2 strikers, and we annihilated them. From that moment on, we walked all over them. They got a late consolation goal, but we were never in trouble at that point. So we've got that as a weapon in our arsenal should things go wrong. I'm not going to jump to it like I may have done in the past with my tinkery little ways, but yeah, that's something that we can bear in mind. Also, we have some transfer news as well that I do need to mention. So, transfer news number 1, we have finally sold Jakub Kiwior. He has gone to the United Arab Emirates for £22.5 million. Not a lot of money, but just happy to get him out of the club and also off the wage budget. So, very happy with that one. And also, David Raya. He's retiring at the end of the season. However, he is going to spend the remainder of his career over at Barcelona, I'm assuming, as their backup goalkeeper. I can't imagine he will be their starting goalkeeper, but yeah, he's heading off. Also interesting to see, considering he's a Spanish goalkeeper, started his career at Blackburn, so does he have like, because I get to him as a coach, does he have like English nationality or something? No, he was born in Barcelona, so he's gone to play for Barcelona now. I'm really curious as to how he ended up starting his career at Blackburn. Very curious indeed. But we have got the confirmation of 2 transfers that we actually made in the summer, but they've only come into effect now. The first one, I'll admit, this one has kind of gone a bit wrong. From Al Sadd, we signed Bernard Teta, who is a Qatar international at 18 years old. He scouted well. He has not come in very well. 2-star, 3-star potential. We might be able to make something out of him. I certainly think that at a given time we can make that money back, but at the moment it's not looking particularly good. So he's probably going to play under 21 football, probably going to go out on loan, and then we're going to try and sell him on and make somewhat of a profit for him. But that one's not gone very well. This one, however, looks to have gone sensationally well. Diego Paniagua. I will get that right. Paniagua, £8 million from Racing Club. Well spent, I think. Yes, he's not had a particularly great career so far, and no youth caps at all, but he is a wonder kid. He's driven and he looks pretty good, very determined, great vision, great passing, great technique. He's good on the ball. He's a passing machine. He will be the kind of backup playmaker while Odegaard is injured. It also means we don't need to worry about getting shock lists this season. I can try and hold off to next season, where hopefully we can either raise funds or have the money to do it. I don't know whether we will, but we'll certainly try. Anyway, on to business. Manchester City, who, if I do recall, way back when, were our second game in the Premier League, and we actually won that one at home 3-1 with a Methistel hat-trick. Of course, that was at home. This is not at home. This is away from home at the Etihad Stadium. So we're going to have to do what we can to get a result here. I am actually going to put McCray in. I've just made a quick change of mind on that one. Let's just move that around. So, with that quick change, here is the 11 that we're going to be using for Manchester City. It is Owusu Oduro in goal, Kadiogu, Sotalo, Harto and Ruggieri in defence. Then we've got Rice, McCray and Darvic with the midfield three. And then we've got Saka and Tell supporting Pitchford up front. We do have the suspension to Saliba, as mentioned, and Odegaard, obviously, with that injury as well. I have got Paniagua on the bench because I want to see what he's like. He hasn't played a game of football for us yet. Teta is technically here. He's also, however, on international duty, and I'm also going to be having him playing the under-21s, as you can see there, indicated by that. Right, let's get to it, shall we? Let's see whether we can get a good result. Apologies, there's a fly that snuck into my office. You can probably see that in the background. Let me just see if I can shoo it out a moment. Shoot him. He's gone away. He's gone. He's left not the building, but he's left the office of his own accord. I had to encourage him a little bit, but he chose to leave. Right. Manchester City. They currently, I think it said they were in 6th, or at least last time I checked before this game, they're in 6th. So I'm assuming that is going to be the case. We should, by that logic, my word, what a rough run of form they're on. 3 losses in their last 5. With the squad they've got, that is not good. That is not good at all compared to us, where we've got 4 wins in our last 5. It's a bit different between the two. It's also nice as well, slight segue, to be using a 4-3-3 with the holding midfielder. I've tended in FM24, even from when the game first came out, to give it a go and then kind of default to a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-2 diamond, or mess about with 3 at the back formations. And I think this is the longest consistently. Maybe I used it a little bit in Deportivo. I can't remember, though, to be honest with you. But it feels like the longest I've consistently used it and got good results with it. I felt like it was always a little bit isolating for the striker. And at times I felt that, but I think it's a testament to our goal scoring that I think Haaland's going to score straight away. That's really annoying. That's taking the wind out of my sails a little bit, I'm not going to lie. I feel like this season we've been blessed with an abundance of goal scoring, and I think when you look at how, since Pitchford has settled in, how well he's done, I think you can see that actually we've kind of cracked the code on the 4-3-3. We haven't cracked the code on that, though. That is an atrocious start. We've been kind of bullied around a little bit. We're not doing anything with the ball, so we need to maybe just up the tempo a little bit and just try and get that ball further forward a little bit, because the attacking players seem to not be able to do anything at the moment. They're actually using a 4-3-3 as well, so it's kind of a matching of styles. I will not hesitate to go to the 3 at the back formation if I feel like we need to, because if we feel like we need to just get strikers on just to try and blitz them, I will do that. I've got no fear of doing that whatsoever. We're starting to go back into the game a little bit more, but their momentum is just with them. I've got a feeling we might be losing this one just already with how we've started. Right, Darvic doing really well here. Darvic has cemented himself into the team, although that pass wasn't particularly great. Just try and press them and get the ball off of them here if we can. Ruben Diaz, he's got to be getting on a bit now, so we've got to be able to try and kind of get the ball off of him. He's not going to be as quick as he once was. Right, Haaland goes back to Rico Lewis, into Tchouameni, into Rodrigo. McCray did well there, but gives the ball back to Rodri. Haaland now goes all the way back to Ruben Diaz. Oh, and I wish Daniel Pitchford thought about that a little bit. He could have intercepted that. Right, Araujo goes out to Adria, their current left back. Goes back to Araujo. They're passing around nicely here. We don't seem to be wanting to challenge them too much, which is a bit disappointing. Ball through to Haaland. That's 2-0. It's not 2-0. That's atrocious. Right. I'm going to use the opportunity to berate the boys. We have been just not at the races so far. So we need to get back into this one. But they've had as many shots on target as we had in total up until that point. We have now got more shots and a shot on target as well. But again, they continue to have chances. Sotalo heads it out. No one's there to claim it, though. Big ball whips in. Haaland's going to get that. He's got it across. Oh, Ruggieri. That's awful. That is awful, and that's made our lives even more difficult now. All over us, Manchester City. Absolutely all over us. We've been due a loss, to be fair, so if this is how it happens, this is how it happens, but this is poor from Ruggieri. He's been a weird one this season. He's been a really weird one. He's had the occasional good game, but he's not impressed me that much. I think I was spoilt by Ike Nuri when Ike Nuri was having his best games, or Kiko Bayer as well. I think I've been spoilt by those guys. But 2-0 in the first half is not a great score to have. Right, Ruggieri to Darvic. Darvic trying to make something happen here. Gets back to Ruggieri. McCray back to Ruggieri. tried to make up for it. Do you know what? I'm not overly happy that he had a shot there, but he wasn't a million miles away. We're starting to get a bit more going here. Foden with the free kick. They win a corner. We are just letting them pepper these set pieces in, and it is going to bite us at some point. It really is, and I'm not overly happy with our defensive performance or even our offensive performance. Yes, we've scored. We haven't scored, actually. I was going to say we scored a goal. We haven't scored a goal. I'm not happy with any manner of this performance so far. Ruggieri on a 6.2. Saka's on a 6.2 as well. Now, the annoying thing is... Oh, it's 3. Oh, it's 3. Oh, that hurts. We've been ripped apart by Manchester City here. And I'm going to shout at the boys again. This is absolutely unacceptable. We've come back into the game from a statistical point of view, but... Oh, right. I'm throwing the water bottle at them. I don't care if it upsets them. I want it to upset them. Right. In emergency break glass, we are breaking glass. Ruggieri's got to come off. Ruggieri has got to come off. I need to work out who's going to play where, though. So, see, Saka and Ruggieri would be the wide players, but they're obviously not going to be because they've been awful. Simic is going to come on the right. We're going to put... Kadiogo's not had the best of games, but we'll put him there. And then I'm going to bring on Martinelli. We'll swap those two rounds. And then I'm thinking a defensive change. And you know what? Let's go with the dual playmakers in the middle worked against Crystal Palace. We'll go with that as well. And then I'm thinking Harto's not had a good game. Declan Rice has shifted in this formation to centre-back. He's not having a great game, but he's having a better game than Harto. So Harto will come off and Sardeo will come on. I'll put Satalo in the middle. And we'll go with that. We might as well go for it at this point. I'll keep Pitchford on for the time being. But we're going to have to go for that. Right. Defenders. Let's just try and G some of them up. And just go for it. Right. Fire up. Let's just see what we can do. I just kind of want to brute force them a little bit. The one concern with this formation is that I have got hard tackling on, and that could come back to bite us a little bit, but I'm just hoping we can just give them so much to think about. They can't even think about attacking, and we can just overwhelm them. That's the plan. That's how this formation tends to work. The run there was on, and it just did not get taken, and now this is the problem. We've got certain numbers in defence. I mean, the wingers are on support, so they will get back to a degree. The defenders, we've obviously now got 3 of them instead of 2. But then this is the thing. When we do get a counter-attack, we have got players who are already forward in Methis Tell, Daniel Pitchford, and Gabriel Martinelli. Tell now running down that wing, whipping it into Pitchford. So close to pulling one back there. Like, the formation's already looking leaps and bounds better. The problem with it is that I don't want to switch to it permanently. But it's a great thing, like I said, break glass in case of emergency. If we need to get goals, it feels like it's a good thing to switch to, but it does leave us open at the back. Yes, we've got 3 defenders. Yes, the wingers are on support, but they're wingers, they're not wing backs. And the problem with that is it means that they are predominantly offensive. They're not going to be looking to defend. McRae's not having a great game. He is going to come off. I'll leave it for a moment. But he is going to be coming off. We have definitely improved in this second half, which is good to see. But it's not enough to have scored a goal yet. I am going to take off McRae. I'm going to bring on Paniagua. And that's a bit of a bold thing to do in his first game, but I don't care at this point. Now, I want to bring off Daniel Pitchford, but I'm also aware it's our final substitution. However, at this point, needs must. We'll bring on Villalba. We're probably going to get an injury now. We'll have to take some off. If that is what happens, that is what happens. I know what Football Manager is like with that kind of thing. It usually bites me. So we'll bring them on anyway. To bring the youth on and just see whether they can combine. But even though we've improved, our effectiveness in front of goal, and I did notice this at Wolves at times, our effectiveness in front of goal would just kind of disappear in games, which, it's a Football Manager thing, I'm sure, but it is an annoying thing as well. We have been on top of the entire second half, and we've not had 1 goal until now. Last 10 minutes, Gabriel Martinelli gets a goal back. It's way too late for us to do anything. It's a defensive mistake. I mean, is it too late? Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. Let's just see. One more goal in the next couple of in-game minutes, and it's all to play for. It would be all to play for, but I think we've run out of steam. Fair play to this tactic, though. Fair play to the players who've stepped up in the second half. Not many of them, but some of them have. What did I tell you? Injury. What did I tell you? The second I made that change, and the worst part is it's a centre-back. I mean, not that it matters anymore. Let's just take him off. I mean, it doesn't matter anymore. We'll just crack on. There we go. That was poor. That was very poor. The second half was brilliant in terms of how we played, but 3 sloppy goals to concede in the first half. I mean, Erling Haaland kind of ran riot over us a little bit, but we also made life quite easy for them. I'm not happy with the defence. I'm actually going to throw the water bottle at them. I'm going to say I'm not happy with the midfield, and I'm going to say I'm furious with the attack. Even though Gabriel Martinelli scored, which was good. But we were due one, probably. We still have a game in hand over Spurs, who are now level on points with us, but our goal difference is still superior to everyone in the league. So we can't be too unhappy with how we've been doing, but that particular game was a rough day at the office. Sardea is out for 6 to 8 weeks, so we're now down to 3 centre-backs. Fortunately, Saliba's suspension was only for 1 game, so we're not going to suffer too much from that, but it's still something I could have done without, to be honest with you. Right, we'll be back for the game against Bradford City, and hopefully we can just get back to winning ways and just blitz a team. I feel like I need to do that after that result. We just need to pump some goals past someone. Let's see whether we can do that. Okay, we're back for the Brentford 3-2-1. We're back for the Bradford game, and we have got some developments. Development number 1 is that Declan Rice has been offered a contract by Barcelona. At 32 years old, bearing in mind we've also fallen out with him, I'm quite happy to let him go at the end of the season. He can still do a job for us this year. He can still do a job next year, but he's not played that well. I think that's aided by the fact that he's not happy with us. So let's just let him go. And then when he goes, we might try and cash in on him, because his wages are so high that we might end up with a decent transfer budget kind of addition to that, and we can look to try and bring in someone now. But if we can keep him, I'd rather probably do that, because he's still got a job he can do in the Premier League. Also, I did actually offer Odegaard out, because his contract does end at the end of this season, and he's on a lot of money, and I thought, well, we might as well get rid of him. He's not very happy with that, so we're not going to bother with doing that. We're going to keep him until the end of the season. I might still offer him a new contract, but at 33, to be honest with you, I think it's very unlikely. I think we'll just get rid when it comes to the end of the season, especially if we can get Paniagua playing anywhere near as well as he can, because he's got the potential to be an even better player, hopefully. So let's see whether that can happen. But this is the 11 we're going to be using for the game against Bradford. It is Andrew in goal. We've got Wrench, Saliba, Sutalo and Ruggieri in defence. Rice, Darvic and in fact, it's not going to be Rice, actually. I've changed my mind on that. It's going to be Marcotta. Marcotta, Darvic and Waneri in the middle, with Simic and Martinelli supporting Villalba up front. Bit of rotation, just to freshen things up after the not very good performance against Manchester City, which again, I don't want to be too dramatic on that one, which is very rare for me, because I feel like I'm a relatively dramatic person. I actually think that it's not going to be something we think about at the end of the season. We lost against a very good team who are not having the best of seasons, but they had to have something to turn things around at some point. How defensive do you want to be, Bradford? So it is what it is, and it was away from home against that team with like the best striker in world football, who I think is also the winner of the goal 50. So I'm coming up with all the excuses, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm not that overly bothered about it. I'm frustrated. I would have liked us to get a win. I would have kind of had a draw minimum as what I wanted, but you can't always get what you want. Sometimes you just have to deal with what you get. And what we got was a drubbing, but we managed to get a goal against them as well. So it is what it is. A bit concerned at how Bradford are coming forward here. I haven't put any player instructions on, because in the nicest way, they're in League One. I don't necessarily feel a need to, but we are away from home, and the FA Cup just has a habit of just wrecking things at times for big clubs, and some little clubs can, let's say little clubs, not saying Bradford's a little club, but in comparison to where we are in the league system in this game, they are a smaller club. But this it's a great equaliser, the FA Cup. However, Villalba's gone and scored, which is good to see. He's had a good debut season, Villalba. I know he's kind of came in and then immediately was second fiddle to Pitchford the second we moved Memphis Tell out wide, but he's going to have to deal with it, quite frankly. But he is chipping in when he needs to. When Airy ends up kind of almost doing a dummy there, he got tackled by Warner, but Martinelli with the assist. It's 1 minute into the game and we're 1-0 ahead. That is how you bounce back from losing against Manchester City. And I'd like a few more, please, if that's okay. If we do get a number of goals in this first half, then a half-time change will be Darvic off and the new guy whose name I'm still learning in midfield on, what's his name? It is Paniagua. He will come in at half-time just so we can give him a decent amount of football. Marcotta has impressed me in a few games this season. He's still only a 2-star player, but he's got more in his tank than that. So it's nice that to kind of be able to give him a game here or there, despite the fact that that 2-star would normally kind of put me off of it. To be fair, playing at Wolves has kind of turned me around on any players who have a 2-star rating. I'm happy to give them a go. Not saying that they're going to do a good job, but I'm happy to give them the chance. Speaking of which, there he is. Simic now to Wrench. Back to Simic. Simic, he's been a good little handy player to have. And whenever he gets an assist, and Martinelli makes it 2 inside 18 minutes. I think we're going through to the 4th round of the FA Cup here. I know it's early to call that, but I think we're going through to the 4th round. Pass into Simic. Simic cuts it back to Waneri, into Martinelli, and that is a nicely worked goal. I've tweaked the tactics a little bit as well as going attacking, which I know you can see. We've also gone shorter passing, so we're still passing with a slightly higher tempo, but we're also just trying to do slightly snappier, shorter passes rather than trying to find kind of through balls and things like that. We're just trying to pass it around and make sure that we kind of find the target with our passing. And we're trying to do it to kind of, and the way I'm kind of seeing in my head is we're doing it to draw players in so we can then make space. That's how it works in my head anyway. We're 3-0 up, by the way. It's another goal for Villalba, which is good to see. Martinelli with the long shot. It's kind of scuffed around a little bit in the box here, and eventually it does fall to Villalba. Simic was involved in there as well. He'll probably feel a little bit unlucky that he couldn't get the ball in the back of the net, but it is another goal for Villalba. It's exactly the kind of game I think he's needed, actually, to get a couple of goals like this. I'm hoping for a hat-trick now. But I think he's needed this kind of game because Pitchford has been kind of the superstar striker, at least in my head, and he's starting to play like that, but he obviously didn't have a very good game at all against Manchester City. So Villalba, it's the obvious choice. It's a team he should be able to tear up, and he is indeed tearing them up. 24 minutes in, we're 3-0 up, we're dominating everything. Yes, I've had 1 or 2 chances, but we are dominating as we should be. Right, ball over to Simic. Simic now, it's all coming down this right hand side, absolute dominance down that right hand side, and Waneri looks to curl it into the top corner, can't quite do that. It would remain 3-0. I'd like it to have been 4-0, I'm not going to lie, but I'll take 3-0. I think the only problem we have with this team is that sometimes our players do like to shoot when maybe they shouldn't. It is what it is. I'm not going to complain about them having chances, especially in a game like this. We've had so many of those chances so far. It would be nice to have had 1 or 2 more get in the back of the net, but I will take what I get after the previous game. We're getting towards half time now. I think it's going to be substitute o'clock. I think it's at the point where I'm going to bring on Paniagua and give Darvic a rest. I feel like that. Do I bring Darvic off or do I take off Waneri? Waneri has got an assist, to be fair to him, but I kind of like Darvic as Mazzala more than I like Waneri. I mean, Darvic is tiring. The responsible thing is to bring him off. I will bring on Paniagua and give him a chance. So we've got the Argentinian playmaker and the Argentinian striker. We'll give that a go. I'm just thinking any other changes that I would like to make right now. I mean, Kadiogo is still technically finding fitness, so I could bring him on. Ruggeri's not having the best of games, so we'll do that one. And we'll go again. That feels like the thing to do. Right. Act 2. Let's see whether we can score a few more goals. It's kick-off with Bradford. I'm hoping that's because we're going to steal the ball off of them. If it's not, I'll be very concerned. Right. Bradford keeping possession nicely here, actually, which is a bit worrying. Big ball over the top. They've actually got it through to Shaw, and that would have been a sensational goal, but I would have been very annoyed. Right, let's not let them do that anymore, boys. Let's make sure that we snuff that out straight away and demand more from them. We should be winning this one 5 or 6 comfortably. Comfortably. I'm a bit annoyed, actually. We're getting to 60 minutes and we've not scored another goal. There's what I've got. So I've got actually at standard tempo at the moment with shorter passing. I'm going to up the passing directness. Let's just try and force it. Villalba's picked up a knock, though. He's on 2 goals. I don't really want to take him off, but I also don't want to risk him. So let's see what Daniel Pitchford can do when it comes to League One opposition. Let's just see what he has to say for himself. Right. Come on, lads. Let's go and get some more. Pitchford's on. He'll fancy himself to get a hatful. Simic just heads it to nowhere, which is annoying, but hopefully we can just press them out of possession, although they're coming forward here. Ah, it's lovely work from Marcotta. Right, Martinelli runs into the middle of the park. He fancies another goal here. Shouldn't have. He should have passed it. He should have passed it. Why did he not pass it? Because he wanted a goal. I already know the answer to the question. I'm not happy with the fact we've not scored another goal in this game. I'm really not. I think work ball into the box is going to go on in a minute because we're just having pot shots, and I'm not very happy that we're not focusing on just getting the ball in the back of the net. You know, let's worry about the team winning and getting as many goals as possible rather than personal glory. There it is. Simic as well. Simic as well. Right, before we do anything, Simic, player instructions, shoot less often. Because you've annoyed me with your shooting today, actually, Simic. I'm also going to do the same thing with Martinelli. Pitchford, if he's not already on it, I'm going to put him on shoot more often. And I'm going to put Waneri on shoot less often as well, because he's also been guilty of the same thing. Right. Oh, do you know what? I'm also work ball into the box. We're 3-0 up. It doesn't necessarily matter, but we should be more than 3-0 up. And this is where I get frustrated, because in games like the Man City game where we do get chances, we don't take them. We're taking them in this game because we're having so many. But 3 goals from 28 shots is appalling to me. Like, we've been lazy in this game. That's the only way I can describe it. We've been lazy. I'm not very happy about it. Like, my brain is telling me, go the 3 at the back because you'll smash them. But we don't need to go the 3 at the back. I'm just thinking about it because I'm annoyed at how pedestrian we've taken it. But, I mean, I'm kind of tempted just to make a point, to be honest. There is a temptation just to be like, let's just smash them. I mean, it's a very irresponsible thing to do. There's no need to do it whatsoever because we're having a good game. But you know what? I'm going to do it just for the fun of it. Just for the fun of it. And I'm going to make a final change as well. We've got 2 changes left to make. I'm going to bring on Harto. Get him a few minutes out there. This is an absolutely ridiculous thing for us to be doing going to this formation, by the way. But again, I kind of wanted this to be a game where we put a bit of a marker down. And we've not really done that. And that is a bit of a concern to me. Right, when Airy can go back, we'll make him a deep line playmaker on support. Haven't seen much from the new boy, but I'm not that bothered by that, to be honest. Right, I'm going to demand more from the boys again because that is a really disappointing second half. The fact that we've done so much with the ball and not put it in the back of the net. That is such a bad throw-in from Simic. I feel like this episode, they've tested my patience a little bit, the boys. Like, we should be all over them. Pitchford should have 2 goals by now. Villalba would have probably ended up with a hat-trick had he not had to go off with that knock. But 3-0, I mean, yes, it's away from home, but look at how much we've dominated them. The fact we've not converted enough chances is a little bit concerning. I can't say it's something that's been prevalent this season because, there we go, there's another goal. And Paniagua has his first assist for the club. Gabriel Martinelli has another goal. I can't say it's been systemic because we've got the best goal scoring in the league. So it's not like it's something that's costing us at the moment. But then is it? I don't know, because again, against Manchester City, we had enough chances to get more than 1 goal, but we weren't taking our chances. We've not taken our chances in this game. And to kind of prove a point, I've gone with my uber attacking formation and we've immediately scored. The more times I do this, though, the more I'm going to look at this formation and think this is the future. I'm not considering this as something to go for, but I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I will, because immediately it got us a goal. But it's only got us 1 goal. 33 shots, 13 on target, and we've only scored 4. A little bit wasteful there. A bit of a wasteful episode. I don't think the Football Manager gods were with us today fully. But 4-0, do you know what? At the end of the day, we've still won. We've still done a good job. Villa could only draw against Rotherham, so there's that. The Baggies only beat Birmingham 3-1. Brentford only beat Forest Green 1-0. Admittedly, I don't think many of these teams were as rotated as we were. Well, probably more rotated, than we were. But it is what it is. Right, well, the most important thing is that we won that one. We did bounce back, and also Villalba's only out for up to 2 games. So that's okay. Marcelli did have a very good game, all things considered. But again, I'm a little bit worried at just how many chances we had there that didn't get converted. But to be fair, they did play 3 at the back, with then 2 defensive midfielders and the 2 wing backs who were probably on defend. So they were playing a very defensive formation. So it's probably a case of it was just quite difficult to kind of to break down. Ruggieri and Marcelli have now got a good partnership, but of course Ruggieri suspended for the next game, which by the way is against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup semi-final. I'm not going to show you the Carabao Cup semi-final. We've seen plenty of those in this save. The only thing I'll show you of the Carabao Cup is if we get to another final, which obviously we won our first Carabao Cup final last season with Wolves. Say the first one. It's the first one we've won. We've been to a couple of the finals previously to that. But that is going to be it for today's video. Now, in terms of transfers, I haven't really spoken about what I want to do. You already know what I want to do. What I want to do is bring in Sjoquist, but we're not going to have the money to do it. Even if we sell Pavlovic, which is kind of my game plan, £60 million isn't going to get Sjoquist, but it could get us some other players, or at least one decent player. No one's currently interested in him though, so we're probably going to have to keep lowering this until there is some interest. But if we don't lose him, it's not the end of the world. But I would quite like to get some more money in. But that is going to do it for today's video. We will be back in and around when we're going to go past the Champions League. I think we're more or less safe. We're definitely in the playoffs, so I'm not too worried about not coming back sooner than that. So we'll come back in February around the point. Well, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll either come back around the Carabao Cup final if we can get to it, if we can get past Newcastle. If we can't get past Newcastle, then I imagine somewhere in Feb we'll have a Champions League game. We'll come back for that, and we'll also focus on the league. Now, I am looking at that game right there, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've played Spurs yet on camera. We haven't, so we need to play that. So we will definitely come back for the 12th. Do you know what? We might even come back, forget about the Carabao Cup final, forget about the Champions League. Spurs, Wolves, biggest rivals, my former employer who beat us earlier in the season. How is that for a next episode? Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a big like on there for me. And do not forget to hit the subscribe button as well. It's completely free to do so. And you'll put a big smile on this face right here. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers.